Hello everyone. My full name is Thi Dieu Linh. I come from Viet Nam and I work as a lawyer. I'm interested in the topic of the law of corporate social responsibility, abbreviated as CSR, in the context of innovation in Vietnam. So that is why I want to make this video to share with all of you the two things about CSR. The first one is that CSR situation in the context of innovation in Vietnam. The second one is my recommendations about CSR to improve it in the practice. So there has three situations about CSR I want to share with all of you. The first one is that Vietnamese legal regulations on CSR are scattered, not really clear, lack of uniformity and connection. We can find our CSR regulation in many laws and articles, such as enterprise law, labor code, environmental protection law, consumer protection law, tax regulations, tax incentives, and many other regulations. But we cannot find a definition about CSR in Vietnamese laws. So it leads to the second consequence. The second consequence is that Vietnamese laws have a lack of standardizations about CSR. Vietnamese businesses have difficulty determining standard indicators to apply CSR in their operation and activities. The third situation about CSR is about awareness and capacity to implement CSR of Vietnamese businesses. It is still limited in many aspects. You see, many enterprises, such as especially small and medium-sized enterprises, do not understand correctly or sufficiently about the importance of CSR. They still consider CSR as a cost burden rather than an opportunity to innovate and develop in a sustainable way. So, lack of understanding and reluctance to change makes businesses difficulty to catch up with the development of CSR. So in that situation, Vietnam wants to improve the application progress of CSR into practice. We need to make significant efforts. Through this study, I want to make a part of contribution to the application progress of CSR into the practice. Here are my recommendations. The first one, we need to add a definition about CSR into Vietnam enterprise law, and we can get reference from the definition mentioned in ISO 26000. The second, we need to integrate CSR into the National Sustainable Development Strategy to create a solid and consistent legal basics for applications. The third one, we need to develop a pilot model to apply mandatory CSR in businesses in cluster and region, and thereby aiming to mandatory integration of CSR into the annual report of businesses. And the fourth one, we need to develop appropriate minimum standard for each type of business in applying CSR in their activities. And the fifth one, we need to determine the scope of CSR applied in business to establish a standard for assessing CSR. And the sixth one, we need to strengthen propaganda and raise awareness of the entire community and business leaders about CSR. And the last one, I think we need to strengthen internal corporate training on CSR for the entire staffs. So that is my study about CSR situation in the current era of innovation in Vietnam. For more detailed information and examples, please visit my poster. To end of this video, I want to say thank you to VANJ Conference 2024 for helping me to introduce my my study to the community. And once again, thank you very much for listening. And I am Thi Dieu Linh from Vietnam.